Hi guys, it's Dan again here from Univibe Audio in Birmingham. This week I've got a pretty quick and easy tip to show you for when you're tuning up your ready to record. You might think there's probably not an awful lot to talk about here, and, well, to some degree, yeah, you'd probably be right. However, with the size and scale of most basses, and with the string gauges and tensions that are involved, there are a few things worth keeping in mind when it comes to tuning that you perhaps haven't considered before. Also, in an era where low-tuned 8 or 9 string guitars are becoming a lot more commonplace, this tip's probably something to bear in mind for some of you guitarists out there as well. So you might well be thinking, well, what's the big deal then? Surely you just tune to the note that you want and that's that. Again, yeah, you'd be right, but the problem comes in the way that a lot of people go about doing it. See, often when I ask a bass player to tune up, they'll use a relatively light touch and they'll let the note ring out whilst they're adjusting the tuning peg up to the pitch. And that's fine if you're playing a soft ballad with a slow tempo, with lots of sustained notes, that kind of thing. There's nothing really wrong with that at all. But if you're tuning in that way and then you proceed to hammer out your latest punk rock anthem, let's say, at maximum velocity, you can already see how that's probably going to become a problem in the mix. So how do we resolve this? Well, basically by tuning the same way that we're going to be playing. So if you dig in a bit more, as if you were running through a take, and just keep plugging away with your picking hand while you're adjusting the tuning, you're hopefully going to end up with a much more accurate result. So what you're aiming for there is for the string to be in tune as soon as you strike the note. It doesn't really matter too much if it goes slightly flat after it's already been struck and sustained for a while. If you're playing a fast punk rock track, then that's usually not going to be that much of an issue. Something you may have noticed there is that the tuning does start to become more erratic on the lower strings. This is mainly due to the mass of the string itself and the slower vibrations involved. Now, you're never going to get it 100% perfect on every note that you play, and that's kind of just the nature of the beast really with most string instruments. Realistically though, as long as you're getting it as close as you can, that's going to sit in the mix just fine. One other important thing to note that will have a big impact on your tuning stability is choosing the right string gauges for the tuning that you want to use. And that's something that we're going to be covering in a lot more detail in this week's blog. And that's pretty much it. Thanks again for watching guys, I've been Dan from Univibe Audio. Please remember to subscribe and don't forget to check out the blog at blog.univibeaudio.co.uk.